So Beth,
Yes.
thank you for doing this with me.
Sure,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fun.
So could you just share with the folks, what do you do? I think what you do is really interesting.
Oh, thanks. So what I do is I'm an author's coach,
hmm
and I work with novelists, and I help them write, publish, and market their novels.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What do you like best about doing that?
Well, I just love working with creative people who are so passionate about their stories as much as I am passionate about my stories, because I'm a novelist too.
Like for you,
Awesome.
what was going on for you before you started working with me that led you to think maybe doing something with me might be useful or a good thing to do?
Yeah, I remember feeling like I understood the nuts and bolts of my
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
I could get into action, I could do things, I could follow through, but
You have a pretty mature business,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
8 years at this point.
Yeah.
But I felt like something was missing, and that something was at first hard to put my finger on, but I knew that working with you, we'd get to address those deeper issues that don't get addressed in any kind of other business training.
hmm Okay, so you needed something other than more nuts and bolts.
Right.
Not to put down the nuts and bolts, but
Yeah.
you needed something else.
Well, I needed something that answered the question, I'm following through, I'm doing the nuts and bolts, but how
Yeah.
come things still aren't clicking?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I felt like the issues were deeper. They were
Okay.
they were deeper. They were mostly buried, and they're mostly unconscious. And I knew with the NLP work and the constellation work, I knew we could get to them.
Okay. And in your day-to-day working, what were some of the specific ways in which that showed up, those blocks or those stuck things? Just one or two examples so that people have a concrete
right,
sense of what you're
concrete.
talking about.
I noticed I would make a plan. Let's talk about specifically marketing plans. I would make a specific marketing plan, and I would kind of feel a constriction inside. So
As many people do.
Yeah. Around, and I knew it was a good idea mentally, and I knew from past experience that if I just followed the plan, things would work well. But I also felt somehow a disconnect between the outer action I had to do and the inner thing, and I felt like there was something again like missing in my ability to congruently execute my marketing.
And then just feel really good about having a business.
I think that's part of it.
Okay, good. So Beth, what are a couple of things that you've experienced in the program working with me that have been useful or helpful for you?
I really love the Heart of Business exercise that we do.
Which I've gotten from the Heart of Business folks that I work with. Yeah.
Yes, and I love how it was a new thing for me to check in with my business in that way. And I love doing it at the beginning of our afternoon of work, and then at the end, and working with the partners in the program.
Awesome.
And getting that input. It's been super valuable.
I'm really interested. I bet some of the folks would be interested in hearing from your point of view. What is the Heart of Business exercise? How would you describe it to someone who's never done it?
Sure. Well, I would describe it as a way, number one, of checking in with the heart of your business. And I love that phrase, heart of the business. It's so evocative. I think anybody could connect with that.
Yeah. Even if you don't have a business yet.
Right. That's right. Like if that's what you're called to, I would imagine that the heart of your business is calling back to you.
Yeah. What's one insight you've gotten from that exercise that was useful for you?
God. I think one of the biggest ahas for me was that my business was like waiting for me to tell it what to do. It wasn't that my business was this thing that was telling me what to do. It was really like I get to be in charge. And I get to set the tone. And also my business, 9 times out of 10, it shows up as like this intense ball of energy that's like a puppy dog, like waiting to go and just asking for direction.
Yeah. And I think that probably mirrors what a lot of people experience is their business running them.
Yes.
Rather than realizing we're in charge. And
Yeah.
not in a tyrant kind of a way, but in a creative kind of a way. Yeah. Nice. Excellent. Thank you. So I'm curious about whether there's been any concrete outcomes as a result of doing this program that might not have been the case if you hadn't.
Yeah, one of the wonderful things that has developed out of working with you is my courage and my, adventurousness in doing more video as a form to market myself and my business.
Nice. Like a video.
Like a video, like this. Yeah, it's been a real stepping out, a real almost coming out, because I'm talking about personal things.
Yeah. And I remember early on for you, one of the big sort of boxes of things you wanted to look at was visibility and how that was a concern for you.
Absolutely. So I would say...
which is for a lot of people, right?
Yeah. And I know it's going to have long-term beneficial effects, and the short-term benefit is that I'm having more conversations with people.
Yeah.
Which is so wonderful as a business owner. Yeah.
Lovely. Wow, great.
Yeah. Okay.
So thank you for all of that. I really appreciate it. And I'm curious about if there was someone in the future who is considering doing this program, what is this program a good fit for? What kind of person with what kind of problems? What kind of practitioner or business owner is it a good fit for?
Yeah, great question. First off, I think it's good for people who want to include the spiritual and the inner life into the operations of their business.
Yeah. So
they want to always be in touch with that level. So I would imagine it's good for anybody who's using that, whether they're therapists or massage therapists or NLP practitioners, or I'm a creative coach. So that keeping in touch with that creative flow is super important to me. Yeah. And so for others, I would imagine it's the same.
Yeah, or maybe people who, got into this whole healing business and now they're finding business doesn't feel like very heart-centered. It's like it's all nuts and boltsy, but find out there's a spirituality to all that as well.
And for anybody who's doing a heart-centered or spirit-based work, but never learned the nuts and bolts and wants to integrate the nuts and bolts in a way that honors their heart-based practices or their spirit-based practices.
Excellent. And so if they were considering it, someone watching this video right now were thinking about, I don't know, can I afford it? Do I want to do it? My time, that sort of stuff. What might you say to someone who's thinking about it?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's worth it. It's worth the time, it's worth the investment, and it's worth it to yourself to honor your business and giving it that spiritual platform so that you're growing it from the roots up in a way that's completely aligned with you.
Nice. Another reason to join is to meet really cool people like Beth. One of the things I think you can say is that the people who've been in the program are wonderful, very rich experience, getting to know the other practitioners, very supportive, do a lot of brainstorming for each other, creative people.
I find the connections and the feedback we give to each other and the support and the understanding and just being in a circle of cohorts who get where you're coming from and who it's like a total already understanding that the spirit is important, that the heart is important, and along the way we're going to learn the nuts and bolts together.
And who are serious about being successful in their businesses.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who are committed.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.